Children across the area are back in school now, and for many that means the start of fall sports like football and soccer. In tonight's News for Your Health, new studies are raising concerns that too many children are suffering from concussions on the field and aren't getting the medical help they need.
I was going for a ground ball, and so was another girl on the other team. And I picked up the ground ball, but she tripped and her head hit my head.
18-year-old Chloe Zhang was playing lacrosse last spring when she collided with another player, hitting the back of her head. Instead of being taken out of the game, she continued to play.
Because I didn't really think it could be serious. I had the ball, so I just wanted to keep playing.
But as she ran around the field that day, Zhang says everything seemed to be in slow motion. She felt even worse later that night.
I got home and I had a really, really bad headache, and I was still really dizzy.
She was having difficulty in school, and this is a student at a very good school who was a very good student, getting A's and B's in all of her classes, and was really struggling. So she came to our clinic.
Chloe Zhang eventually went to see Dr. Michael Yokelson at the National Rehabilitation Hospital, where she was diagnosed with a mild traumatic brain injury, more commonly known as a concussion. Yokelson says it's an injury he commonly sees among young athletes, many of whom have no idea that the hit they took could have injured their brain.
I've had some patients where by the time they come to me for a more severe concussion, which they do recognize, when we talk through it, they do recognize that they've probably already had a few concussions in the past.
That's because mild concussions often have subtle symptoms like headaches, dizziness, and problems with thinking and memory. Those can go unnoticed, so the concussion goes undiagnosed and athletes return to play. Dr. Yokelson says that can lead to a dangerous situation.
If you have a second concussion before you've completely healed from the first concussion, there's risk of much more severe injury and, in some cases, although very rare, even death.
Concerns over concussions are fueling new initiatives to get injuries diagnosed more quickly, especially among teenagers who don't always want to admit they're hurt. Some states, including Virginia, have recently enacted legislation that requires high school athletes to take baseline cognitive tests at the beginning of the sports season. That way, if they get a head injury on the field, a second test can be given to quickly compare results. Chloe Zhang says she continued to have headaches for weeks after her injury. When she finally went back out on the field nearly 4 months later, she says she could still feel the effects.
When I came back, I was definitely a lot slower and less coordinated. I used to worry a little bit about being re-injured, but after a while it just kind of went away.
The number one treatment for concussion usually involves rest, and a lot of it. Even going back to school too quickly can cause a delay in healing. Bottom line is concussion symptoms should be taken very seriously.
Can't overlook it.
No, you can't.